12 minutes after the hour. It is Wednesday, March 27, 2019, 36 degrees. The reason I had to redo that is because for some reason our recording went south. So now we're back. Now we're back in action.
You know, we stop recording.
I know, doesn't it? Whenever you start talking, it goes away. So, well, let's see. Where were we? 1939, Oregon won the first NCAA men's basketball tournament with a 46-33 victory over Ohio State in Evanston, Illinois.
And important thing is, 1939 was the first year of the of March Madness in the national championship. So,
Yep,
that's a big celebration that they won the first one.
That was quite a deal, yeah. Well,
the Ducks.
Yeah. On March 27, 1958, Nikita Khrushchev became Soviet premier in addition to first secretary of the Communist Party. And we all remember him banging his shoe at the UN, banging his shoe on the table, saying, "We will bury you." And, well, a lot of people think he's on the way. It's either the Russians or somebody else is on the way to getting rid of America.
He died in 1971, but he's the one who caused the massive problem between the U.S. and Russia in 1961 under Kennedy, the Russian missile crisis, because he moved missile
into Cuba,
launch missile into Cuba. He took over, he took over in 53, 54 as chairman of the Council of Ministers because Stalin had died. And 58 to 64, he took over and started out with a speech before the Communist Congress about, how bad Stalin was, sort of upset the Politburo, or the leading council of the government.
Yeah.
And then after the situation with the United States, and 1964, they replaced him with, guess who? Big-browed Leonid Brezhnev and as first secretary, Alexei Kosygin. And I remember them.
Yeah, Kosygin, yeah.
Yeah, they
were nasty guys. Yep.
Nasty guys.
Yep. Thankfully, Ronald Reagan came along and put the kibosh on them.
Yep, that was easy.
1977, on this date, a KLM Boeing 747 attempting to take off crashed into a Pan Am 747 on the Canary Island of someplace, killing 583 people in the deadliest aviation accident in history. And that must have been something to see. It was two 747s colliding with each other. I don't know if they were on ground or if they were in flight, but it says attempting to take off, so I don't know whether that means it's still on the ground and somebody else is landing or what, but that would be pretty nasty. 583 dead, so wow.
Well, it would have been horrific because, of course, the plane taking off is fully fueled.
Well, that's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and the plane landing probably didn't because it was probably coming from Europe or, been transcontinental
somewhere,
flight.
Yeah.
So. But, that would have been a pretty horrific crash.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah. 1996, on this date, an Israeli court convicted Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, confessed assassin of murder, then sentenced former law student Yigal Amir to life in prison.
A sad story. Yigal Amir lived in the West Bank, raised by a family there, went to school in the West Bank, in Israel. And was, very, as it said, he went to, he was a scholar. And so it's a really sad thing. And, of course, Yitzhak Rabin was famous for the peace accord that he signed with Clinton on the White House lawn with Arafat.
Yeah.
Right? So it's one of those things that history reflects something different, right?
Amen.
Yeah, remember Sadat of Egypt, the same thing happened to him because he signed that treaty with Israel, and then he had that military parade. A bunch of guys jumped off a truck and
whacked him. 1998, the Food and Drug Administration approved the drug Viagra, and we all know what Viagra does, so no need to go into that, I guess. So, but it's quite a change to America. Quite a change to America.
Yeah, but the medical term is sildenafil.
Oh, okay. Well,
so it feels something, right?
Yeah, good to know.
Boy.
Good to know. Yeah, it was a blood pressure medication with a side effect.
That's right. And our favorite corporate guy from Playboy,
Yeah.
you know his famous quote that the most remarkable the word went out of my head, Tom. Sorry.
Achievement?
Not achievement, but a sports drug, not sports drug, but
Yeah.
what are they turning marijuana into now? A usable something for people to take or smoke every day.
Yeah, for
anyway.
Whatever. So
yeah, it changed his life. Let's just say that. And he lived to 80 something because of it, he says.
All right. 2002 on this date, a suicide bomber killed 30 people during a Passover Seder in Yana, Israel. Netanya, Israel. Yeah. And in 2007, NFL owners voted to make instant replay a permanent officiating tool. We had instant replay in the 70s, I want to say, and 70s or 80s, and took them that long to get it into to where it was an officiating tool. And I don't know.
There you go.
But 12 years ago, so.
So Viagra was the best recreational drug. That's what he means.
Okay. Can we get off of Viagra, please?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
2009, President Barack Obama launched a fresh effort to defeat al-Qaeda terrorists in both Pakistan and Afghanistan, ordering 4,000 more troops into the area. So, escalation of the war back in 2009. So,
that's 10 years ago. Isn't that amazing?
I know, yeah. Born on this date in 1899, Gloria Swanson died at 84, American film and stage actress. Also born on this date, Henry Royce, Rolls-Royce founder and aficionado, died at 70 in 1933. And let's see, we also got Sarah Vaughan, a great singer, vocalist, and pianist. Born on this date in 1924, died in 1990 at the age of 66. So,
well, there you go.
All right, we got to take a quick break because we've got to take care of our farmers and ranchers and truck drivers, cab drivers, and anybody else that brings you either food, clothing, or booze.
the main man in our lives.
That's right, the main people in our lives. We got to thank all those guys. So here's your morning ag report. 25 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. It's Wednesday, March 27, 2019, 36 degrees outside. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Shane and Tom on the line in Vancouver, British Columbia. Tom Eaglehoff, your morning mayor, in the house. And, our weather, Shane, we need to go back to that probably a little bit for folks who may have missed it first of the hour. 43 degrees going to be our high today, but rain and snow is going to move in. Less than an inch of either rain or snow today, starting around 6 p.m. And then we're going to have snow overnight into Thursday and also into Friday. 3 to 5 inches predicted on Thursday with a high of 34 degrees. And Friday, a high of 36 degrees and maybe snow tapering off in Friday afternoon. So we are going to get a little more dust, but the weekend looks great. 42 degrees and sunny on Saturday, 45 degrees and partly cloudy on Sunday. So that should get rid of some of that snow at least. And I'm hoping the last few days of 40 degrees and 50 degrees have warmed the streets enough to where the snow won't stick to the streets and it'll just pile up in your driveway or wherever it is you have to shovel. Or
now, does your city just plow or do they throw salt down?
No, they plow. We have to plow. Yeah.
No salt.
Well, we do a salt mixture.
Salt.
Yeah.
Oh, it's sand.
Well, it's sand and salt. It's the two. We don't.
Yeah, I'm just giggling because environmentalists get really upset about salt.
Well, they do, and also it's really hard on your car's finish. So.
Oh, incredibly bad.
Yeah, so we don't do that. They spray a liquid stuff on the intersections.
Sure.
And so it's a partial mixture, and then they also throw sand down and whatever. So it makes a mess. It does after it all melts, So the street sweepers are quite busy sweeping it all up. So
yeah, we have an eco-friendly salt. It's algae.
Oh yeah, it's algae salt.
It's salted algae. Yeah, it's salted algae.
Okay, so it swims around as it's
Yes,
thawing the
right.
water. Yeah, just swimming.
And it goes into the drainage system and into the ocean as salt algae.
Okay, so it's back home again in
Yes.
Alabama, so to speak.
Yeah, back, back where the salmon can enjoy.
Yeah, back where it came from. Yeah, back.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay. I guess that's why anchovies are salty, huh? They must feed on that British Columbia salt. All right.
I didn't even like putting them on a Caesar salad. Ooh.
Oh, I love anchovies. You got to have anchovies.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's good stuff, man. You gotta.
I like smoked oysters. I think smoked oysters in a can.
Yeah.
And of course tuna fish.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, it's
No, but that's about the only stuff can't I eat anymore. Well, a soup, I guess. You know, but you can make soup at home. But
yeah, I'm not having avocado soup. I'll have them on, or not avocados, anchovies. I'll have them on pizza.
Oh yeah, no, I just
whatever. All right, that wraps it up for this half hour. Mike McCormick is in at 8 o'clock. We'll be back with local news after the top of the hour. Hey, don't forget about Kitabaloo, Saturday, April 6th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Brick Breeden Fieldhouse. Tickets on sale at ticketswest.com or at the Brick Breeden ticket office. So get over there and take the kids or grand folks, take the kids, give mom and dad a rest maybe on Saturday afternoon, let them go out and have a nice lunch or something and enjoy themselves. We'll be right back. 24 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Wednesday, March 27, 2019. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor in the house. Shane Matobin on the line with from Vancouver, British Columbia. Half bad, half amazing. And this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And do you remember Professor Irwin Corey that Mark Levin was talking about? The comedian?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that we should try that someday with you. You should, because they would ask him questions, like.
Well, being a Canadian and not having a dog in the fight, it's like that Canadian they have on that's from Toronto.
Yeah.
So he sort of stole my mark on Fox. When they're not going to have two Canadians.
Oh yeah, well. No, but Professor Irwin Corey used to talk about, physics and all of that stuff, and he would make it sound real, but it wasn't anything close to being real, obviously. But we'll have to see if we can find a sound bite of him. In fact, I think he may still be kicking around. He's 100 years old, I think. The comedian used to be on Johnny Carson and all those places way back when, if you remember
in the
those
good old days, Tom,
yeah.
the good old days.
Well, a texter corrected me. Our text line 478-8298, Sweet Home Alabama. I think I was thinking of Back Home in Indiana was the song I was thinking of, not Back Home in Alabama. So, Sweet Home Alabama and Back Home in Indiana, I think is what we're looking for. So,
okay.
All right. So our texters are keeping us honest. All right. I appreciate that. Good job. Let's see. Well, the House, they amended the Medicaid bill, and we'll see where that goes because, they want to keep a work requirement in there and an improved asset test. So that you've got to qualify that you don't make too much money to be on Medicaid, and also right. That if you are on it and you're able-bodied, if it's your backup medical plan, but you're able-bodied, you should be working. Should be doing something.
And it's for people who can't afford it. So the upper 10% they talk about all the time, they don't need Medicaid.
Well, no, they don't. Yeah. So
yeah.
But the amended bill would require an audit if more than 5% of the participants are suspended from the program for not meeting reporting requirements, and if more than 10% of those suspended are found to have been wrongfully suspended, further suspensions would end until the next legislative session. But they're talking about covering 96,000 low-income Montana residents, and they want to keep that intact. But after it was amended to add a work permit or a work requirement and a sunset date, Democrats moved to table it. So
yeah, of course
it
sounded too much like Clinton legislation back in the 90s.
I was going to say, let's knock this welfare off, and
Yeah.
we'll take care of that. So we'll see. It's working its way through. It's obviously the big dog in the meat house when it comes to the appropriations and the budget of Montana, because it's a pretty healthy slice of the tax pie. So
it always is.
Yep, and so we'll see where that's going to go.
Which is so amazing about your country, because everybody talks about the budget, both federally and in states, and yet there's all these benefits that take up so much money of both state and the federal budgets.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like people aren't provided social benefits.
Well, that's true, and but every 2 years we got to sit down and decide where the money's going to go and who gets what.
That's right.
And that's the issue, unfortunately, that we all have to deal with as we go through this process in Helena. So, well, I don't know.
I just want Canada solved that piece of the pie.
Yeah. 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 Tell me how long you have to wait for a toothache.
Yeah.
All right.
You were after waiting for surgery as long as it took them to fix the problem.
I was going to say, yeah. All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. 15 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Wednesday, March 27, 2019, 36 degrees outside. Tom Eagle off your morning. Mayor Shane Tobin on the line from Vancouver, British Columbia, and welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox. And we've got a winter advisory going out. We were looking for a high of 43 degrees today, but it's going to cool off to 34 tomorrow. We're looking for 3 to 5 inches of snow on Thursday, and maybe another inch or so on Friday. 36 will be the high on Friday. And then it goes back up to 42 on Saturday and Sunday, and then 45 on Sunday, and partly cloudy there. So if we can get through Thursday and Friday, the passes are going to be pretty nasty. It's going to be 5 to 6 inches or so up there, 8 to 10 inches in the mountains. So it's going to be... plan your travels accordingly if you're hitting those passes. So let's hope the roads are warm enough that it won't stick too badly in those upper areas. But we've got some nasty weather ahead, Shane.
More snowpack.
Yep, here it comes. All right, let's see. We've got the Public Safety Center suit was dismissed finally. And after three shots, Roger Koopman brought that suit, saying that the Bozeman City Commission acted inappropriately in treating the safety center like a candidate. Vote for me. And it's a $36.9 million building, and so the judge in Park County, who is Brenda Gilbert, wrote in her decision filed Monday that the citizen-led lawsuit tried to sidestep Montana's framework to challenge the election results, and that it's already gone through the Montana Commissioner of Political Practices and the local government ethics board have already turned it down, and the judge has now. But there is a 60-day window to appeal, so construction won't start until that 60-day appeal is exhausted, or until another suit is brought, or another action is brought, I should say. So the safety building is safe for the moment, I guess. So
may it rise in peace.
May it rise in peace. Amen to that. Well, Bozeman's historic northeast neighborhood, I should say, they're going to put a nice new building up there. It's going to be where industry, bakeries, artists, and bike shops meet. The city commissioners approved the early designs to turn an unused lot into a major development that claims to capture that personality. And it's roughly 2-acre site between Cottonwood Road and North Ida Avenue, which abuts the old Misco Mill, if you remember where the old Misco Mill is. And plans outline 92 places to live, built alongside artist studios and industrial space. And They told the commissioners that the design focuses on creating a community where people can live and work without driving across town. So what a great deal that'll be. It'll be 3 separate buildings that'll be in there. So should be quite a nice little project there. And they began this project in 2016, brought in early plans, and then, of course, it went through all of the various, changes and all of that. So, but they're looking for, they'll have future homes will be for sale. 46 units will be used as rentals. 7 of those apartments will be affordable, targeted toward people who make roughly 65% of the area's median income. And the designs aim to make for sale commercial space and homes throughout the project attainable for people with paychecks that match the median income, but who can't keep up with Bozeman's climbing prices. So
there you go.
Sounds like a worthwhile project, I guess. Depends on how many artists and people we've got to. Maybe it'll be the Bozeman Greenwich Village. We'll just call it Greenwich Village down there. What do you think?
That's it. Lattes and scones.
Yeah, that's what you'll have down there. Organic food, and there'll be artists out on the sidewalk painting, abstract whatevers. So I don't know. I don't know if artists are the group of renters you want to attract. Not that they're not nice people, and not that they're not, but there's a reason for the term starving artist.
That's right. Exactly. And you think they come up with some kind of really nice bench type of approach outside, for homeless people, to ask for money.
Well, yeah, they should have tents out front.
Yeah. Well, not tents, but somewhere for them to sit down off the ground.
Okay.
That would be that.
All right. Sort of a bunk bed bus stop.
Yeah, a bunk bed. Yeah. There you
go. All right. We'll be right back after this. 6 minutes before the top of the hour, Wednesday, March 27, 2019. 36 degrees outside currently. We're looking for a winter advisory. A lot of snow coming in overnight Thursday into Friday. Saturday and Sunday be nice and sunny and warmer, but we are going to get some snow, so get the snowblower filled up and get the shovel warmed up, and you'll have about 3 to 5 inches and maybe more of snow to clear off your deck or driveway or sidewalks or whatever you do.
Now, this is a good thing because, all those people that don't have hobbies, shoveling snow is sort of a hobby.
Well, yeah, it's good exercise. It's good for you. Get your adrenaline flowing there. You get the blood going, and you're freezing your tush off and.
Stretching all those muscles you don't use. That's
right. And if there's any wind at all, the snow blower will blow the snow right into your face, no matter which direction you're headed, because it when it's windy here, it just comes from all directions. So
intentionally
at least, absolutely correct. So. Well, we hope the Northwest Development will work out for the folks, so we're happy about that happening over there. And Madison River, the committee agrees to continue talks on what they're going to do there. The state officials hope the panel would propose regulations to the Fish and Wildlife Commission next month, so a plan could be finalized in time for the 2020 fishing season. But this week's meetings were the last scheduled meetings, so they didn't set a date or location for a meeting yet. It's likely the meeting couldn't occur until the second week of April because committee members are busy, according to the Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks panel. It's unclear if having another meeting will give the group time to propose a plan at the April meeting to deal with the Madison River. So there you go.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the Montana's most popular fly fishing destinations, and so they're, they want to make sure that everything is, for tourist season, people coming in to fish our lakes and rivers and whatever. So.
Well, geez, it's only, you only happen to have 5 of the best fly fishing rivers in the world to work.
Well, I know, yeah. Yeah, that's not the only one you can go to, but
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, they failed to agree on a set of recommendations. The committee tasked with proposing regulations for one of the most popular, as we mentioned earlier, fly fishing destinations. And during a 2-day meeting this week, the 10-person Madison River negotiated rulemaking committee began talking through different management alternatives, including various ways to cap river use and ways to balance the use of boats in the river's two-wade-only sections. And committee members are deadlocked on various proposals and were unable to reach a consensus on Tuesday. So that's kind of where we're between a rock and a hard place, as they might say in some places. So.
Indeed.
And if the cave-ins weren't enough at MSU, we've got minority and gay students say they're exposed to a lot more discrimination. Some 34% of minority and 48% of LGBTQ students said they have witnessed discrimination far more than the 24% of white or straight students are getting. So not sure there's an answer to that on a college campus, Shane.
Well, they have safe zones.
Well, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know if the safe zones are even safe. You're you're not you're not minority enough. You're not gay enough to be in here. Whatever.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So you got to be a certain level, I guess, of whatever you're put upon. Discrimination is, but well, I think usually people who discriminate or attack others haven't taken the time to meet anybody and do what they have to do with those to understand those folks. So whether it's good or bad, it's. I think social media plays a lot into this too, Shane. That it's easier for people to sit at a computer screen and spew hate and discrimination than it is to do it face to face. So
yeah, of course. Yeah.
So in many cases, we're looking at a lot of different options here. So it's. Well, we hope clearer minds prevail, and hopefully they will tolerate each other and try to understand each other's point of view, and work toward a more open campus,
more gentile,
a more understanding, more understanding campus. So, right. We'll be back right after this. Also, too, we had an incident where firefighters saved a dog that fell through the ice in a pond, and we have the video on KMMSAM.com, so you can watch the rescue of that canine, and it's quite. If you're an animal lover, it makes your heart feel good. Watch the folks climb out on the ice, fall through it, swim over there, try to get to the dog, and then get it back to shore. So
that's right.
It's a great video. Check it out at KMMSAM.com. All right, we'll be back with 5 things you need to know right after this. 5 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m. It's Wednesday, March 27, 2019, 36 degrees outside. Welcome, everybody, to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And Shane and Tom on the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia, half man, half whatever else you want him to be.
I'll go with that.
Yeah. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor in the house. And from our text line at 478-8298, the Shields River Ridge by the Yellowstone washed out. Washed out, not washed out, washed out.
That's your Western accent.
It's washed out.
You're weird stuff.
Access through Springdale, so you can get out that way. I guess if you're going by the Shields River, go through Springdale to get out of that area. I guess so. But anyway, the texter sent a video along with it, and so it's kind of kind of a mess over there. So, and I think from Hardin to the other side of the Wyoming border is still washed out on 90 as well.
Really?
Highway 90 is still washed out, as they say. So
There'd be a lot of water and ice out there.
yes, there are. Well, yesterday I forgot my phone, Shane, so I couldn't get the texts from the 266 number that we're phasing out, by the way. So.
Well, I'm more concerned with whether you remember to take your pills, because
I did take my pill. I did take,
good,
yeah,
good.
but I didn't remember it the time.
Okay.
The time I didn't remember until about 2 hours later. But at any rate, yeah, yeah, my meds. I didn't take my med on time. Let's see, the best high school name. We were talking about high school names yesterday and high school
That's
mascots
right, we were,
and all of that. That got quite a lot of attention. So. Before we get to the 5 things you need to know, I want to get some of these texts out of the way and let people know that, if you're using the 266 number, we're going to phase that out. So write down the 478-8298 number. We're going to use that from now on as our text line. So best high school name comes out of Idaho. The State Mental Hospital is located in the town of Onofino, and the high school mascot is the Onofino Maniacs. So let's get less PC about it. All right. We like that. So,
yeah.
Let's see. Bozeman, California High. That's a good name, huh?
That's a good name.
Yeah. People moving to the Gallatin Valley and Big Sky by the thousands every year to move to a big construction zone. Breathtaking, isn't it? And let's see. Gallatin Gophers. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. If they're going with the original high school name, why not go the way the original and go with the Warriors? Yeah, the original high school is where the Emerson Apartments are, next to Wilson School, and they were the Warriors. So why not carry that over? I guess we can do that. And let's see. How about the Gallatin Rattlesnakes? Yeah, there you go. So, all right.
Yeah, that'll bite you.
That will bite you. Don't tread on me.
That's right.
All right. So, let's see. We're going to do the 5 things that we need to, that you need to know today. And the Trump cabinet, I guess, objected to moving against Obamacare. The president wants to phase Obamacare out. A Fifth Circuit judge in Texas said it's unconstitutional without the mandate that Judge Roberts put in as a tax. So without that tax, then it doesn't have enough people to get into it, and enrollment is down because there is no penalty now if you don't join up. So if you feel healthy or you buy your insurance somewhere else or don't carry any at all if you're younger, then the Obamacare is definitely in trouble. And the president wants a free market health care anyway, which I agree with. I think competition is a good thing. I think we should sell it across state lines. I buy my supplemental Medicare insurance across state lines. I buy my car insurance across state lines. I buy my house insurance across state lines. Why can't I buy health care across state lines?
Exactly. And the importance of this, too, because of the left and, what they're saying with Mueller and Barr, the Attorney General. The Attorney General was against this, and the Health and Human Services, Alex Azar, didn't want them to proceed with it, but they were overruled by the White House because he has to answer to his base, just like the Democrats. And like you said, because of the single payer is gone, the reason for this, this move to the Supreme Court by, I believe it was Texas that filed this. Anyway, what is that without the single payer, there's no funding for it, so it's unconstitutional because there's and it's sort of interesting because when you go back and you remember the Supreme Court approving it to begin with, the claim they made under their ruling was, well, it provides a tax which is legal, but now the tax is gone, so that part of their ruling is gone. So that's why the unconstitutional challenges up there. It's a challenge flag, Tom. A challenge. It's like soccer.
Okay. From our text line, 478-8298, it's Orofino. Orofino is the name of the school. Whoever texted to me spelled it Orifino. So the other person spelled it Orofino. So.
Oh, we have a battle of words.
We have a battle of words here, so I'm just phonetically pronouncing it, guys. Whatever you send me, I do my best. So,
yeah, well, I
don't know what to do with that.
I learned words by phonetics from Miss Chestnut at Poly Drive in first grade, and I've never been able to spell words since then.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, what can I tell you? All right. Well, we mentioned the Shields River being down, and anyway, according to the Attorney General William Barr and Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar pushed back against the Trump administration decision to try to invalidate the Affordable Care Act. I don't know if you're going to be able to get rid of the Affordable Care Act or not, Shane. I think you have to modify it or change it or adapt it, but whether or not you kick it completely out, and it's I guess you can take the car completely apart and put it back together, but I don't know if that's going to work or not.
But I mean, if you take a car apart and put it back together, it's the same car.
It's the same car. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's.
I know you are. Yeah. Good analogy. Very good analogy.
Yeah. Well, the Mueller report will reportedly be available within weeks. They wanted it by April 2nd, but the Justice Department expects Robert Mueller's report on Russian interference in the 2016 election to be publicly available in weeks, not months. So, Attorney General William Barr provided his summary of Mueller's finding to the Trump campaign conduct and whether President Trump obstructed justice to Congress on Sunday, but lawmakers demand to see the full report. And, I have a problem with demand to see the full report. They were going to get to see the full report anyway. I mean, come on. Nobody told them they couldn't see the full report, so why are you demanding to see it? Oh, my God.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the three things about this story that are important that remember Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch stonewalled the House for years on documents that they asked for.
Yeah.
Or never done, number one. Number two, the Democrats have this whole thing with the debates coming up in 2 months. Mm-hmm. So the closer this report comes out before the debates, the worse it is for them.
Well, that's true.
And number three, remember what Mueller ended up doing is finding all the information probably about the boomerang hitting the Democratic Party who colluded with the Russians. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah. Well, okay. I guess we could deal with that when it happens, huh?
I hope we get a phone call on that comment.
Yeah, there you go. Well, from our text line, 478-8298. Morning, Tom. Sent you a couple tags on Facebook to update you on the Madison River Foundation. Okay, I will check those out. And again, talking about the Orofino, you said Onofino, whatever. It's some school in Utah.
Oh my God.
I don't know. So, listening online is my only option as I live far away from Bozeman. It's a huge pain as the site is continually filling my computer up with ads through cookies. Didn't used to be what's going on with your ads. It's a terrible thing anymore. So I will pass that on to our IT guy who controls the website from listening to it online, and we'll see what can be done about that, or if there's something wrong with it or whatever. So that's what we'll do.
Okie dokie.
All right, that's easy. And I don't know about number 3. Does anybody know about number 3, Shane? Thai opposition party claims governing majority after first post-coup election. So, do we even care about what goes on in
Thailand is an amazing place. It's an absolute monarchy, but they've they've allowed a constitutional, a Congress,
Yeah. Well,
House.
sort of,
But,
not according to this article, but
exactly. And of course, the previous government was overthrown by a general who ran for election to run the country. Mm-hmm. But looks like he's lost.
Boy, I don't know. But I doubt if anybody even knows about this and why it's one of the top 5 things we need to know. I'm not sure why it's even in there.
It's an interesting anecdote to the 5.
I guess. All right. Well, I guess we're trying to. We don't want to let the Thailanders be left out of the conversation, I guess, apparently. So.
Well, and we want our listeners to know we do pay attention globally to things.
That's true. All right. Well, on a more local level, the vote to override Trump's veto on national emergency failed in the House, and quite an interesting vote, wasn't it? Everybody voted present, but yet, hey, we all want to get this green new deal out there, but we're gonna sit in the closet and vote, through the crack in the door.
Yeah, it's a pretty, and then one thing we didn't catch when we were going over local news is Tester went down to the border and comes back and says, we need this. We don't need a wall, physical wall.
Yeah,
we need to update everything. With regards to the border. Yeah. So if there isn't a problem down there, why do they want to look at it with drones and not build a wall?
Yeah. Why do we need to update it or whatever? Yeah. So
if there's no problem.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more of the 5 things you need to know right after this. 22 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m. It's Wednesday, March 27, 2019, 36 degrees outside. Mike McCormick of McCormick Financial Services will join us at 8 o'clock, so stay tuned for Mike coming in for his regular visit. Shane Matabin on the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia. Half man, half amazing. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor in the house. And this is, the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, where Montana talks, right?
That's right.
That's right, man. Well, this vote to override the veto, quite a coup there for, does that open the door for the national emergency, or is it going to go to court, Shane? Probably the next step, I think.
Oh, yeah, it'll go to court. But I hope everybody noticed last week that the Army Corps of Engineers, or the Pentagon, announced they're moving $1 billion to the budget for the Army Corps of Engineers to go build the wall.
Yep. He's ready.
So we called that a year ago. A year ago we said that, Tom.
Yep. The Corps of Engineers, they're already being paid, so why not have them do it? Save on labor.
That's right.
Because they're being paid anyway, so why not put them to work down there?
And remember, their motto is, let us try.
Let us try, yeah. Let's see, from our text line, 478-8298, any congressperson can read highlights of the Mueller report into the congressional record, and that would be absolutely true. You certainly can. They could. More likely, the summary was probably read into the congressional record, I would think, by someone, or added to the record more than likely. The only thing that should be excluded, Shane, from the Mueller report would be grand jury testimony and the witnesses of a grand jury, because that is secret, and
yes, it is.
And national security. Anything to do with national security that someone from the White House might be privy to, or communications with foreign governments that might give the wrong impression, or things like that. Once Barr hands this over to the House. First, he'll send it to the White House because they get to respond to it. Yeah. And
then he'll send it to the Congress. Mm-hmm. And the redacted stuff, obviously we've just discussed, which will occur.
Yeah.
All the committee heads in the House and the Senate, they can go and look at it at a secluded, secure location.
Sure.
If they want. So,
yeah. Well,
it'll be there.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too about let me get my info here. Let's see. We had 19 lawyers. We had 40 FBI agents and forensic accountants and other professional staff. We had 2,800 subpoenas, 500 search warrants, 230 orders for communication records, 50 orders authorizing the use of PIN registers, and 13 requests to foreign governments for evidence. And they interviewed 500 witnesses. And they want all of the related documents too, not just the Mueller report. They want to see the interviews of the 500 witnesses and the requests and what the communications record showed and what the 500 search warrants turned up. And hey, more power to them. If you want to look through all of that, go for it. Plus Rosenstein, I guess, was, I think, probably kept in the loop, was he not, while Barr was being brought up to be confirmed by the Senate.
Well, yeah, because Whitaker, the previous AG, didn't really involve himself. Rosenstein's been overseeing this from the beginning. But I still have one.
And he's the one that appointed Mueller in the first place.
That's right. Yeah. But there's one thing I still want to see, which we've asked for a year or 2 years. You and I have talked about this. Night of the election, Hillary doesn't come out to concede because I believe she was on the phone with Brennan, Comey, and Clapper going, and Loretta Lynch going, what do we do now? I'd love to see their phone records for the night of the election to see if the four of them were talking, because I think they were. You
think so? Huh?
I do.
Well, I don't know. I still think I still think Hillary's untouchable. I don't think they're going to go anywhere near her, and I will tell you why I don't believe they'll go near her. The dossier, the Steele dossier.
And so they should. That's why they should.
No, we can't have. We can't have that. We can't have that dossier public.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because we know what's in it.
Yep.
And we know that apparently it's been debunked and not true, but still, that gets into the public record, and that's an energizing base for the Democrats. And true or not, doesn't matter. They don't want it out there.
Fair enough.
They don't want it out there.
Yep.
So I think she is totally untouchable for that reason. That's the biggest thing they've got, that they went to the FISA court with that, and that started the whole thing. Happening.
Well, the unfortunate thing is the IG, the Investigative General Horowitz, who's reviewing all that, and the FISA warrants. I mean, if the FISA warrants come out with his report, the dossier will too.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah. But whether or not they're going to do anything with it or not is the story.
Yeah,
if they go after Hillary Clinton, that is a blazing gasoline fire for the Democratic base. If they go after Hillary before 2020, after 2020, all bets are off. Go for it.
That's true.
Drag everybody in, drag the dossier in, drag everything in. If Trump's reelected, then go for it.
That's right.
But I don't think they're going to touch it till
after
the 2020, if it's Trump or somebody else. So if it's a Democrat, then Hillary's home free.
That's right. And 2020 is the year of the woman, so they don't want to be seen as going after a woman.
That's true. That would be another reason why as well. So we got this women's Me Too movement going on and all the other stuff. So I think Hillary is safe for the moment. And that makes Clapper, Comey, and Brennan and everybody else safe too. So, all right, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And we'll be back with more stuff. Mike McCormick is going to join us at 8 o'clock, so stay tuned for that. And you're listening to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Hey, we're Urban Montana Talks. We'll be right back. 23 minutes for the top of the hour. It is Wednesday, March 27, 2019, 36 degrees outside. Tom Eagle, your morning mayor in the house, and Shane Montalban on the line, and you're on the KMMS Morning Soapbox. And let's see, Shane, from our text line, the Steele dossier can be downloaded from the net and sent a link to it, so I downloaded it, so I will look at it, and they investigated Hillary more than 9/11, so we'll see how that works out. But I still believe that Hillary is absolutely off the limits. I don't think anything is going to go anywhere near her. From our text line also, 478-8298, no secrets in government. Release the Mueller report, White House visitor log, and tax returns. That will work for us. And news from Thailand matters. Why must we wait for genocide in Burma, fascism in Zimbabwe, or lunacy in Venezuela before we find out what's going on in the world? So that's why we put it out, right, Shane?
Well, that's right. And the big thing that happened yesterday was that the Russians landed in Venezuela with 100 troops. So there you go. The things are heating up around the world, folks.
They certainly are. So, boy, I don't know. It's going to be quite interesting to see how all this plays out over the, well, I tell you, a radio dream, Shane, the next 18 months. I don't know.
It truly is.
I don't know whether you and I will be here for it or not, but I hope we are.
Oh, I pray we are, because I want to be here for the debates. They're going to be great.
The debates are going to be pretty amazing, yeah. And, of course, Fox News is out of the debates. We don't want any Fox News anywhere near the debates, so it'll all be softball, MSNBC, CBN, or CNN, and, I don't know, CNBC, I guess, so.
Well, the big story last week was about how Beto went to the Mexican border and picked up some Mexican dirt and ate it, and then he took it home and fed it to his family. And I was thinking about this, and I'm going, isn't there anthrax in the dirt?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, like, seriously, wow.
The more this guy is shooting himself in the foot every time he turns around. If this guy has any chance at all, which he doesn't, at least if he keeps acting the way he has with his poetry and his dumb stories and the eating dirt and all of that stuff, I don't know.
And his table hopping. Remember table hopping when we were growing up? That was chasing women. Well, now it's chasing boats. He table hops to chase boats. Well,
apparently, I guess. I don't know. So, but anyway, it's I don't know what these guys are thinking. Quite honestly, I don't understand their thinking that acting like that brings people to your side.
Yeah, I know.
It's like what was it? Angelina Jolie and what's her name that carried vials of each other's blood around their neck or whatever. I mean, come on, you gotta be a little off track, a little off center to do that. And a lot of people say, well, Trump is nuts. Well,
yeah, I know.
I don't think he's got his family eating dirt. He certainly has made some questionable comments, but
Well, yeah, and it's like the Millett thing, which we all were stunned by yesterday. It appears that Michelle's, chief of staff called up the attorney general or the prosecutor general for Illinois to, ask that they drop the charges. But isn't that obstruction of justice?
Well, I don't know. Making sounds to me like collusion.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I collude with you to stop this thing here? So
yeah,
I guess it depends. I guess it depends on what you asked. You could say, "Hey, you're going to ruin this kid's life," whatever. So I don't know.
Well, we'll see what the FBI does about mail fraud because he sent himself a threatening letter, right?
Well, I doubt if that's going anywhere either because they dismissed 16 felonies. So
it's crazy, buddy. It's crazy.
So I don't know. Where
I smell obstruction of justice here. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well,
and then of course, Kraft has to plead not guilty, right? He's going to fight that case for entrapment.
Yeah. Well, watch your clock because we're going to talk about that right after this. All right, hang on. 17 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Wednesday, March 27, 2019, 36 degrees outside. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor in the house. Shane Matobin on the line from Vancouver, British Columbia. Half man, half amazing. And from our text line, 478-8298, the big shock in the debate will be Andrew Yang. I agree with that. Exactly. If you've heard Andrew Yang or if you even know who he is. Let's see, from our text line, 478-8298, how do you spell Beto? Lunatic. Lunatic. So I don't know. That's yeah, he's pretty weird. I will tell you that. So, but All right. Robert Kraft, the head guy of the Patriots, of course.
And Kraft.
Yep.
Kraft Foods. Yep.
Yep. Pleading not guilty to soliciting prostitution. So.
Yeah. And he's, conservative Jew from a conservative Jewish family. And this is important, of course. His mother was born in Halifax, so his mother was Canadian.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. He attended Columbia University, very smart guy, 27. He made his first $25 million having owned and sold a radio broadcast business. And his father was actually, a dress manufacturer. So, go figure that. But it was actually him that got the family company into food. And the rest basically is history, as we all know. He's a billionaire. And interesting that, I think the whole reason he's challenging this is he's trying to play a Smollett thing where it gets dismissed and everything's sealed, including the videos.
Mm-hmm. Well, that could very well be. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Calling on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
All right, good morning. So, Tom, you're talking about the Steele dossier.
Yeah.
And how you think Hillary is untouchable and how it would energize and mobilize the Democratic base. I don't quite get how you're getting these ideas, because well, if the Steele dossier is just lies and innuendos and false accusation.
Mm-hmm. But I believe the base will believe those lies and innuendos and use them as fuel, because they jumped on the Millett thing, they jumped on the Me Too movement, they jumped on all of these things that turned out to be not as accurate as they had hoped they would be.
Right.
So even the Mueller investigation, they were counting on that as being the key to impeachment of Trump.
Right.
And that didn't happen. So now.
So are you saying they don't want to release the dossier, though, even though it would energize the Democratic base, but then the rest of us would see that it was just lies and false accusations?
Well, that would be a matter of opinion if it would or would not. That depends on your point of view. Right now, we know that a lot of the Democrats don't buy the Mueller report. They've turned on Bob Barr as being, shielding the president from corruption. So they didn't find any collusion with the Russians, but they still think hidden in there somewhere is obstruction of justice, and Bob Barr is just kibishing it, and that's why they want to see all these documents and everything to prove to themselves. That's like the tax returns. We want to see the tax returns because we know he's dirty. And if we see the tax returns, then we can prove he's dirty, and we can start the impeachment and all that. So,
well, again, it's the thing where so many things have been brought against President Trump.
I know.
That people just think, well, there must be something there then. But they haven't come up with anything.
No.
And it's like, does the whole country and the whole world not even see that they have such hatred? Just hatred for the man, that they're trying to get him at any cost. I mean, it looks pretty plain and obvious to me that that's what it is. And why? Why do they have such hatred? He's trying to protect the country by building a border wall.
I'd agree with that.
Protected for our country. He's trying to protect one of our strongest allies in the Middle. Well, probably maybe our only ally, strong ally in the Middle East, Israel. He's trying to protect the unborn. Now, I know a lot of people think, well, it's a woman's right. But abortion stops a beating heart. And even when that little embryo is still an embryo, it's a human embryo, and it's life. And I forget just when, but I think the heart starts beating, I want to say at 19 days. I could be wrong, but and he's doing so many things that are good and moral and just. I don't understand the hatred, except,
Well, they can't believe that Trump was elected in the first place when they had the most qualified person ever running against him.
Yeah, so they think.
well, that's what I mean, and that's why I think she's untouchable, because she's the victim. She was somehow even though, they beat the heck out of Bernie to get her in there,
Mm-hmm.
but she should have won by every account. You can go on YouTube and look at the election night things of all these liberal networks just going crazy that what is Trump doing? How's this happening? This can't be real.
Yeah.
That's where we are. And then, from the other side, if you look at Hillary, you say, oh my God, Benghazi, and she testified for 11 hours and, about that thing. And she washed her, hard drives and the 30,000 missing emails and all of that.
Tampered with evidence.
And there's no charge. So
I know.
That's why I say I think if she was not untouchable, then, I would think all those things would have been enough to do something, but they weren't.
One would have thought, yeah. So who's behind
I think the big laugh is Bernie didn't care about emails, but he wants to see the Mueller report.
Right, yeah. Yeah. I'm tired of hearing about your damn emails.
It's just a pretty sad statement on our country if you say that the Democrats can be energized and mobilized by lies and false accusations and untruths.
Well, I just look at what I see.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the call, though.
All right.
I appreciate it. Thanks for listening. All right. Take care. Let's take one more quick call, and we got to take a break. Caller, you're on the air. What's up?
I'd just like to say I didn't vote for Trump or Hillary, but if you count all the votes, Hillary would have won. With caging and provisional ballots not being counted, it would have been no contest. So
yeah, she did get the most. Yeah, she did get the most votes.
She won the popular vote by over 2 million. You're right.
Exactly. I mean, but purging and caging and voter purging and all that stuff, it would have been way more. Mm-hmm. And that's why Stephanie Abrams lost in Georgia too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, I think there was more. There was a lot more. There was a lot more blacks turned out there than at any other vote. So,
but the evidence was there. A credit card company even did a thing on all the 300,000 votes they took off the rolls in Georgia because they claim they moved. Well, a credit card company did a test or whatever how they know where people live and if they've moved, and hardly any of them moved.
Well, then that's voter fraud, and there should be a court action.
HR 1 would fix all these problems.
There you go.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
So there you go.
All right. Hey, thanks. All right, we got to take a quick break. Noxitril warning. So just so you know, we'll be back in 2 minutes. We'll be back in 2 minutes. That's what they all say. 5 minutes for the top of the hour. We've had a caller waiting patiently on the phone, chatting with Shane. So let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on the air. What's going on?
Trump's not allowed to be president because he's not a member of the reptile deep state.
Oh, okay. Well, there you are. So I guess not.
He's actually a human, and so he's never been to the deep reptile underground. The deep state. That's why Hillary smells like sulfur. She's untouchable.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. Well, that's what I say. Her and
Obama smell like sulfur.
Yep. Of all the things that they've done, boy, it's really hard to wonder, or it's hard to understand why there is an investigation into them. But,
you have to be a reptile to run this country. And
I guess
Trump's not a reptile. That's the problem.
I guess that's true.
And as far as the Smollett things go, the prosecutors were very smart. They would have never got a jury in not 1,000 years.
In Chicago, not in Chicago, huh? Yeah.
I went and saw a movie yesterday called Captive City, and it was about Chicago. Chicago makes Detroit look like Dubai.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's a hole. It really is a true hole.
Yeah. Well, that's why Rahm Emanuel's getting out. Look for him to be Senator Emanuel one of these days, or Congressman Emanuel,
or Governor,
Emanuel. Take your pick. So, all right. Hey, thanks for the call.
All right.
Appreciate it. All right. Let's take another call. 522-TALK is the number. Calling you on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Tom, Shane, how many times have we heard this claptrap that Hillary got the most votes? She got the most illegal votes, over 3 million votes there in California. We don't work on the most popular votes. We work on the college that we do.
Yeah, the Electoral College, yeah.
College, I meant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so, they people keep on bringing up she got the most votes. It has nothing to do with it.
Well,
you're right.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the Electoral College, is that it gives the entire country a say.
And if they change that, we're in trouble.
Well, it would be.
Oh yeah,
it would be.
Republic.
Yeah.
Why can't people? Why can't people get that through their thick skulls?
Well, if you just look at an election map, you see almost the entire country in red, but there's like 10 pockets of severe population that would elect the same people every year.
Well, the next person that comes in and complains about Hillary getting the most votes and not winning for about a 1-week refresher.
Yeah. Well, I think, if Trump had gotten the most votes and Hillary won the Electoral College, I think Republicans would have been up in arms as well,
Well, it does no good. So. Yeah. God bless you guys. Take care.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. Thanks for listening. All right. Mike McCormick's coming up, and I think he's actually, I think he's actually here.
Coming up now.
Coming up now.
Hey, nice to be back. Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, how you doing?
Mike Day.
Yeah, it's hump day. Mike. What day is it?
Good morning.
I know you're going to regret for the rest of your life coming in on Wednesdays, aren't you?
Oh no, I like it. I'm a third child. I like the attention.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Any kind.
I'm the third child too, so
we're like lukewarm water, right?
Right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Not too hot, not too cold.
Not too hot, not too cold. All right. That's exactly right. Oh, what do you want, Shane?
The jamming call's on.
Oh, the jamming call's on. There we go. How's that?
Thank you.
All right. Sorry. Not sure what happened there, but anyway.
Sounds really technical.
It was very technical. This is not easy doing this. I mean,
I can't hand.
Yeah.
So I have to signal.
Well, you can tell me. You can just tell me what's going on. It's okay. You can do that.
Hi, Mike. It's good to have you in the house.
Hey, happy Shane. Happy Wednesday.
All right. Well, we'll be back with the aforementioned Mike McCormick following the news at the top of the hour, Brooke Foster weather and Montana State news. And one of the things I want to talk to Mike about is the retirement of Rob Gronkowski from the Patriots.
Oh, this is serious news.
This is serious news, man. So,
and I wasn't ready for it. So we got a break coming up.
I will tell you exactly why
that's
it's
important.
a big deal.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back with Mike right after this. So stay tuned. A lot more of the Morning Soapbox yet to go. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we will interact with Mike McCormick.
And I'm here to learn too.
That's right. Well, a couple catch up on our text line. Barr and Mueller are Russian agents. That's from our text line at 478-8298. The Steele dossier is somewhat believable, especially what we learned Trump was building a hotel in Moscow. And the problem with the Democrats is they believe their own BS. So we'll leave that one there. And from our other text line, isn't it amazing we only hear Robert Kraft's name in this whole prostitution ring, so he evidently was the only person in the whole place and the only one involved. And in response to the caller on Hillary, Trump won the entire state of Montana other than 5 counties, a liberal Gallatin being one of them, 24 points won by. So that's certainly very true. That's exactly what happened. So there you go. So I was going to talk to you about Rob Gronkowski, the
Patriot.
Yeah, the Patriots.
Professional football player that's retiring.
Right. 9 years in the league, $54 million he made over his 9-year career, and he saved every dime of it.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
He lived off endorsements and saved his money. And Jay Leno did exactly the same thing. Jay Leno lived off stand-up comedy and saved his $30 million a year salary from the Tonight Show.
It's so
every
unusual.
Dime of it.
It's so. I mean, to be able to do that. First of all, to have the desire to do that, to have the discipline to do it, and to be focused in an area where you're surrounded by access, whether you're in professional sports or in entertainment. There had to be special things going on with their upbringing. This is where I'm theorizing about this, and I think it's going to be really interesting watching how these millennials end up becoming savers because they were in the house when their parents were worried about losing their house. Maybe they lost their job. This is, of course, the Great Recession. They got, they're in a certain age spectrum. They got a front row seat to this, and now, now as they're coming of age, they're beginning to have some money. We're seeing that they're not jumping into the real estate market as readily as we had hoped for fear that the values might be ephemeral. No, we don't want to buy at the top. This is the longest expansion on history record. We're at the top of the market. You don't buy now. So they may be right. They may not be right. But when you come across somebody that's basically a miser is what we're talking about, right? If you have $54 million in the bank and you're only living off of, a minuscule portion of that, I'm sure he still lives just fine. Yeah. There's a lot of free meals and free transport.
I would
in the
say
NFL,
you probably get $1 million or so in endorsements probably a year, and that's pretty comfortable living.
It's pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
And again, he's probably, just like Jay Leno, there's food on the table. You don't have to go out and buy something. It's just right there. But when you come across people of this in your life, you see people, and it's hard to know how much money they have. They're just frugal people, right? And they talk about their money. Oh, I don't make very much, and when I get a chance to meet with somebody, it's small peanuts. I don't know if it's enough for you to deal with. Yeah. And then you see what they're making or what they're having savings, and you're like, well, that's a different understanding of what much is compared to other people.
Sure.
And it's something that's hardwired in their personality. I don't think you can turn yourself into one of these people necessarily. And we see this today in the FIRE strategy, which has some acronym for retiring super early and living incredibly frugally. I'm not sure what that mentality is, but I don't urge people to become that person because you either are or you're not.
Well, and it doesn't necessarily go to age either, because obviously Gronkowski and Jay Leno are mature people. You could go to Tyra Banks, who had enough money to buy her own house at 20,
right?
And her accountants told her she's got to spend more money. They set up a frugal account.
We need
her,
expenses,
a frivolous account for her.
Now,
just
all
to
three of those
money
careers are very ephemeral. One word slip up, Jay Leno's out of a job. One knee job, and Gronkowski's out of a job. And Tyra, beauty's fleeting.
Beauty's all skin deep, right?
So they might have all recognized, I could only have another year of this game.
Right.
At most, and so I better save money. But the lesson for us out here, I guess, is that you don't need to spend everything you make.
Yeah.
And the scope creep of making more money is everywhere. I mean, it's in my life. As kids get older and businesses grow and you make more income, but then come tax time and come bill time, you're like, well, where did it go? What happened? And the best thing to do is just be aware of it. It's an acknowledgement. And the place that I always go to is my credit cards. You can call them up, and they'll issue you a year-end summary. Yeah. And they'll do it at any point in the year, too. And they'll categorize all of your spending. They'll give you handy charts about it, and you can see what you're spending on meals and entertainment, what you're spending on healthcare and automotive.
Yeah.
And just track that. Be aware of that. That I live frugally to become a multimillionaire. If that's what makes you happy. But these people all... Maybe their goal was to give money away.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No way to know, but I was just impressed that some of these folks that, you see the other end of the spectrum where a lot of professional athletes make the big money, they buy the big house, they take the...
There's a lot more stories on the other way.
Right. They bring the ne'er-do-wells from the old neighborhood who want the bling, and they buy them all kinds of stuff.
And
then
today
all of a sudden
that's
they're broke.
Represented by the auto loan situation. The rates that people are borrowing at and the amount that people are borrowing, cars are getting more and more expensive. So people are having to borrow more to get a car and buying new cars.
Yeah, you're like a 7-8 year loan. Come on.
Oh my gosh, you can go. That's a short-term loan for a car.
Do they get longer?
They get longer now too, which and that's a real wealth killer.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course we've talked a lot about student loans and what the return on that is and how to be careful with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, savings good. I always say 20% of your income. You want to pick the meat of your earning years. You want to be saving 20% for 10 years.
Least, yeah.
Doesn't have to all be in your retirement account. It can be in lots of different things. But that's the behavior that you really have to get to in order to have a retirement.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, looking at, Social Security is your top 35 years of earning.
Yep.
So even if you don't need a second job, why not go get one? Just improve that 35 years, and you'll be closer to the maximum when you get out.
And the number one problem that people retiring that want to retire early have is the healthcare gap.
Yeah.
And so a lot of professionals are saying, hey, what I want to do is I'm going to retire from my profession, but I'm going to go take a job that'll provide healthcare, and happiness. I don't know what it is, whatever turns you on.
I show up every day and work behind a counter and make $12 an hour, and I'm fine.
Right. Right.
No stress, no, it's pretty easy.
Right. Put the tip jar out.
Yeah. So.
Well, I did miss out on commenting on the Federal Reserve.
That's right.
And I know everybody gets really excited to hear the words Federal Reserve and rate and inverted yield curve. And these things really get people tuning in to radio pretty actively.
They wait all week for you.
Oh, my gosh. Well, the federal funds rate is the short-term overnight rate, and it's 2.75. And when you're looking at that as compared to loaning your money out longer, you would be foolish to do so. You get paid less for loaning your money longer term.
Yeah.
This is a problem. This is a problem that is self-healing typically with supply and demand. And so we're watching closely to see if it's going to fix. But what it means for interest for savers basically is that it's okay to go and put your money in cash and in savings so long as you're getting that 2-point whatever rate that's out there. And not all banks are offering them. Certainly the brokerage houses, this is a dirty secret of my business, the brokerage world, where if you have money sitting in cash, it's probably earning zero or nearly. They haven't upped their rates enough. And so your advisor needs to actively move that cash into a mutual fund or a money market fund or a bond fund or whatever it is that's going to get you this 2-point whatever. And that's the takeaway. And then it's okay to go get a CD right now. CD for a year, you might be able to get well over 2%. And then that allows you to go and take the risk on the stocks because we're still seeing upside. We're still seeing opportunity. We're still seeing growth. We're still seeing the benefits of deregulation. And we don't see a lot of big concerns out there. There will be another recession. We don't know what's going to cause it. And we've got a Lyft IPO later this month that I think is going to be really interesting to watch. We haven't had a lot of IPOs. This is an initial public offering when a company has been private, like Lyft, and they've got a business that seems to have a lot of opportunity, but they need more capital to grow. They issue public shares. And this is the first time, this is like the debutante ball, the Sweet 16 coming out, where they say, hey, we've been sitting inside this room forever saying how much we're worth. Now's the time to really see what we're worth. And they claim they're worth $2.4 billion with a B.
Well, they've had a 2 or 3 year increase each year. They've gone up and
so it's one of those.
Unlike Amazon that started like 15 years of no money, but
Lyft is losing money. They're spending money, and they'll probably do fine. But when you try and value that, when you say, okay,
that's why I say is that
I don't really recommend
fly against. Well, what's the other
Uber?
One? Uber, but the other one,
No, I don't know.
Although they've got all kinds of problems with their CEO.
I live in Montucky. I just drive my car when I want to go somewhere.
I know. Let's go to the phones. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, you're on the air with Mike McCormick. What's up?
Hey, good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Morning, big dog. And hey, it's hump day, Mike.
Mike.
Finally made it there. Hey, speaking of Gronk, that's pretty amazing. I never would have guessed that doing commercials for Tide Pods,
yeah,
stuff like that would pay so lucratively. That's incredible, man.
Yeah. Well, I think he's got some shoes in there too somewhere, but yeah, I know those Tide Pods. I was surprised to see him doing that commercial, man. Like that just doesn't seem like him at all.
Got to pay the bills.
Yeah, it was too, but. Hey, we know why now, right?
Yeah, now we know why. Hey, of course I'll talk about your Tide Pods.
Laugh now, he says.
Yeah, well, Tom, I often think that about you, with what I assume you make, and your age. I'm thinking Tom's probably pretty shrewd and wise in that area, probably stocking it all away and using it for investments, rather than
I don't
having to live on income.
Yeah, I don't need the pay here, but it's nice to add to my retirement portfolio. So,
absolutely. Hey, I just want to make the comment, like looking at this market, the ups and downs swinging with Mike there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like the number one driver behind what's happening now is the geopolitical spectrum of just what's going on in general, the tariffs? To me, it's probably most what's going to happen with China, but the overall scene, I think Brexit has less to do with what we're going to see in the future. But how does Mike feel about that comment?
Well, thanks for asking, and appreciate the call as always. It's for the past decade, really since the Great Recession, it has been don't fight the Fed. And anything that you bought, so long as it had some risk associated with it, has done well because the Fed made money supply easy. And in the past 2 years, the Fed's been trying to undo that. And now they all of a sudden are saying, oh, we're done backstepping. We're back to it. So I would say that the Fed is still, is it muscle memory? Is it back to don't fight the Fed? We have a low interest rate environment. They're saying they're not going to raise this year. They're saying that the taper isn't going to be a big to-do, in which case, and they're saying the long-term neutral interest rate environment is where we are right now, that this is as expensive as money's going to get on average, which means buy houses, buy stocks, grow your company, borrow to go out and go do it. And that is underlying everything so long as the U.S. is still in a position of dominance. And with regard to China, that is where I think we are. When we're looking at a big picture, it's going to be when did China overtake the U.S. in dominance? We're at the beginning of that process. And so, can we see the forest through the trees? I'd parlay that one to Shane or bigger minds than mine on that one. But I think that's something we can't quite see happening as clearly as we would like right now.
That's great, Mike. Shane, would you? Yeah. Shane, can we pick your brain on that too, please?
I think that the fascinating thing that we haven't had a chance to because we don't do Saturday, but crude oil has dropped off to $59 today. Brent in Europe is down to 68, and stock market's back over 25,000. But the interesting play here that I see is the bond market. The 10 years at 239, and the 30 has dropped under 3 at 285, which tells me that the global money moving is to the U.S. Bonds are going up in price because when the rate on them drops, the price of them go up. So that's why that's happening, is money's coming here because of Brexit in Europe and the EU and the problems. And, when you look at the GDP of the United States, wow, at 3.1%, that's a proud number, and it's the strongest economy in the world. And, I don't think we have to worry too much about China because of the aging population. The U.S. is at 20 million GDP, or $20 trillion, 18 trillion in Europe, and 13 trillion in China. So they're dropping. And, Canada's holding in there, of course, because we are, number 10 at 1.7 trillion. So, I think that the important thing for people to be aware of is where does consumption move from here? Because with this whole issue with the Democratic Party, I think that Trump's got a free ride to winning. And all the money is saying the U.S. will continue to grow. Trump will get reelected. And this game's still on. We're moving. The American market's moving.
Yeah.
You guys are the winners in the world.
And we've seen
with what happened last Friday too. There wasn't a huge reaction to the market by it, but it's still over 25,000, heading to 26. So there's a lot of comfort in that because that's that storm clouds off the administration. Now the gloves come off and he can do all kinds of things that he probably couldn't do before.
Yeah. You know, I kind of liked that distraction of a non-story. If you ask me, I mean, it's comforting sometimes to have things taking up the spot in the news that you just don't really need to put any mind bandwidth to. You know.
Yeah.
One parting comment, guys.
Sure, real quick.
Statistically, an incumbent president, if the economy stays strong, 2020 is going to be awful hard to beat.
Yep.
Well, have a good one. Thank
all right.
you.
Hey, thanks for the call. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back in 3 minutes with Mike McCormick, Shane, and me right after this. Welcome back, everyone. We've got about, it's 26 minutes after the hour, so we got about 3 minutes left here in this segment, guys. So, the markets right now, the Dow's up 73 and NASDAQ's up about $6. So we're not exactly in big weeds right now, but...
You know, it's a buy the dip program. When the scary things happen, you get a little bit of courage, put your extra cash in there. Plenty of people are still making IRA contributions. The net add to the stock market's positive. There's demand. It'll probably go up.
All right. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on the air with Mike McCormick. What's up?
Well, here's another dirty little secret that people should learn, that Stephen Moore, the new nominee to the board of the Federal Reserve System, has said in the past, I don't even think the Federal Reserve System deserves to exist like I am, and there's a number of us, including Ron Paul. He's in the Fed type. So I have noticed Stephen Moore for years, and I have said, well, there's an interesting guy. I like reading him. I read him in Reason magazine, the libertarian magazine. So he's it's a surprise that he's on the board. It shows another thing that Trump has done, swimming upstream, that doesn't fit the mold.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. Just a little factoid.
Thanks, DRP.
Right. Yeah. Well, without the Fed, I'm not sure how you're going to process a credit card or a check, but...
Well, I mean, they do some basic money functions, but I think the theory is there going to be a time in our future where the U.S. is not manipulating its own currency? No, I mean, it's one of those things where even if somebody gets elected to the board saying they're going to, here's the keys to the castle. You're in charge of the global economy.
Right, yeah.
Do you just want to Jesus take the wheel on that one?
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like saying Social Security is going to go away when everybody that votes is taking Social Security.
I was going to say, yeah.
So we can talk about it. It's good theory. And if you're truly interested in it, I just noticed that Bitcoin is over $4,000.
Ooh.
Yeah, I haven't paid attention in a long time.
Isn't that down from 6,000?
Well, it's down from 17,000, I think, when it hit.
It was up there pretty good.
But it's anyway. So that's if you're interested in no manipulation of money supply, cryptocurrencies are a good place to play.
Yeah.
And just ending up, can I end up with a little thing?
Go ahead.
Mortgages are 4.55 on a 30-year fix. That'll probably stay there for a while. And real estate continues to be a good investment in this town. And maybe when we're seeing a lot of projects going on, maybe supply will catch up with demand and there might be opportunity. It's been a tough market to get in. I don't think we're going to have a pullback.
Yeah.
But, betting on Bozeman real estate has outperformed most investments over the past 10 years.
All right. All right, we got to duck out here, pay some bills and things. When we come back, Mike, I want to ask you a little bit about Apple streaming and all the things they open up. They open up their own credit card and all kinds of stuff like that. So let's talk about where Apple's going when we come back.
Everybody owns Apple.
There you are. We'll be back right after that. Shane Talbot online in Vancouver, British Columbia. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor in the house. Mike McCormick, McCormick Financial Services in the house. We'll be right back with more with Mike right after this. 24 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Wednesday, March 27, 2019, 38 degrees outside. Shane Talbot on the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia, and Mike McCormick, McCormick Financial Services in the house. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor. From our text line, Moscow is one of the most expensive cities in the world. Why not build a Trump Tower there? Legal aliens use Monero to make remittances without taxes or eyeballs or tracking, sort of a Bitcoin type currency. If a Dem wins in 2020, will our IRAs tank? If so, would it be immediately after the election or before 2021? What do you think, Mike? Would our 401s tank or our IRAs tank?
Well, it's always buy the rumor, sell the news, or sell the news, buy the rumor. There'll be a moment in the election cycle where things will be scary, and that will be an inflection point. Who's to say who's going to win, right? It could be a surprise. I don't think anybody on this desk is concerned about a change in leadership right now. So long as the economy's strong, it's going to be hard for somebody to argue that we should be doing something different. And so long as there's so many different voices on the Democratic side, that how can they arrange a group to oppose it? That said, there's always a specter out there, and this is one of those things that surviving through that Great Recession, I think we all need to recognize is that we have muscle memory, and the fear of loss is greater than
expectation of gain.
Well, that for sure, right? Yeah. You have to have if I'm going to enter a game of chance with you, I have to feel like I'm going to have twice the opportunity to gain as to lose. That's been studied scientifically, so we hate losing.
No, we don't.
But we're also seeing that the fear of losing money in the next recession is somewhat going to be that's a more painful feeling, stronger feeling than actually going through it. If you're going through it, you're like, well, I got to wake up and go to work today, and I guess I don't have less money. And instead of Hawaii, we're going to go drive to Yuma, and then you're through it. But the fear of that happening is driving so many people's concerns. That's why I'm saying go ahead and get a CD at these rates. Go to your local bank and bulk up your emergency stash, pay off some debt, so that you can go ahead and say, yeah, the stock market's too high. Yeah, the real estate market's too high, but I have extra cash and I need it to grow. Go ahead and push it in there. Whether you're optimistic about foreign or oil or tech seems to be the winning place to go. There's a place for you can't afford not to grow your money. Inflation's going to eat it all away, so you can't hide under the cliff, and you can't be worried about this. You can't be worried about what's going to happen in the election right now. Is to we got a plan, but things are pretty good today.
Yeah.
Go out and enjoy your day.
Go out and do it.
And behave like Jay Leno and Gurkowski and pack a lunch and put another $5 or $15 in your savings account when you do that.
There you go. Well, I wanted to ask you about Apple. Shane and I feel that conventional cable companies are on their way out. Streaming will be the wave of the future. The cable companies are sort of the 8-track of the music industry at the moment. What do you think about Apple introducing streaming? They're going with their own credit card, lower rates. They're going to be competing with Netflix and all these other Hulu and all the other streaming services.
Right. So Apple finally made a move. They finally said, okay, we're more than just a telephone maker.
Yeah. Are they too late to the game, do you think?
Of course not. Yeah. Of course not. And really, Apple is one of those leaders to look to. They weren't first to the game in anything.
No,
they were the patient ones, and they've just been sitting on a war chest of cash. Yeah,
they have a lot of money.
And so when they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it. And things are working that, in slow, creepy ways. I see a lot of Apple Watches out there, a lot. And their stuff works. I mean, you can't argue with that. The people that were Apple people are still Apple people. And so if it makes it easier for I'm looking at the Apple on your computer here. If it makes it easier for you to do your financing by moving your credit card to this credit card, sure, you'll do that. You're not loyal, right?
Sure.
You're not loyal to the other guys.
I'm going where the rate is.
So I think the answer is, Apple's moving to more of a value company is the term we use, where they say, okay, we've reached our market share. There's always going to be a room for a Samsung. There's always going to be a room for competitors in the world. And so maybe we're somewhere close to that. So we got to come up with some new revenue sources. Growth is a trickier thing to combine in this environment. Let's budge into Netflix's world, and there's no reason why they can't do that too. You don't don't just have a Netflix account. You buy stuff with your Amazon Prime. We stream. We figure out what we want to watch, and then we surf around where it's available. And if it's not on Netflix, then we'll go buy it at Amazon or Google or wherever. So I think that there's room for all of it. Apple has yet to reclaim its highs. It's actually far ways from that. I think that the lesson on Apple for people is that you already own it. It's in every mutual fund. It's in every index fund. And that's good. That's right what it should be, just like Exxon. You own Exxon. So should you take a concentrated position in it? I don't, unless you are committed to owning individual stocks for some particular reason, you'll probably be better off with an index fund. You get exposure to some other growth. It's interesting to watch, but this is, again, they didn't come up with anything new here. I mean, a credit card. Whoa.
Yeah.
Now they're partnering with Goldman Sachs on it. That's neat.
Yeah.
That's a big, there's more upside for Goldman Sachs out of this than there is on Apple.
I would say, yeah. And also, I'm sure in most cases, they'll have incentives to buy Apple products. You'll get cash back on your card, a lower rate, and things like that, and buy their music and buy all the stuff they offer.
And that's all true. But, one thing that I feel like is that they're losing their grip on the captive customer. And to parlay that into your comment about cable companies, I absolutely agree with you and Shane. I mean, Charter, Spectrum, Bresnan, that they're J.C. Penney's. I mean, the idea I'm seeing the bill come in from them. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that you haven't cut my bill in half, because
I know, to keep me.
What I've noticed in my house is that when my Wi-Fi is not working or slow, I just turn it off, and Verizon gets me what I want
you just throw
away.
A hotspot on your phone, and you're home free.
Right. Yeah. So, no, those guys are dinosaurs. There will be some value to the product they have in the ground. The fiber and the cable they have in the ground will be of value.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how.
Well, there may be some, it might be for intra connection between hospitals or, things like that.
Stock markets and flash traders and things like that.
Those kinds of things. All right. Hey, hold that thought, Shay, because we got to take a break, and I will be right back. 14 minutes for the top of the hour, Wednesday, March 27, 2019, 38 degrees outside. KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, and Shane's got a comment. I know he's chomping at the bit to hop in here. What's going on, Shane?
Well, the key to all the streaming is access, and of course it's going to be Wi-Fi, because phones will be able to relay that to homes without cable. But the brilliance of Steve Jobs will step up once again. The Apple TV 4K he invented January 9th, 2007, 12 years ago, updated September 1st, 2010, 8 years ago, updated March 7th, 2012, 7 years ago. The third update was 2013, fourth in 2015, and updated again in 2017. Why is this important? The introductory price on it in when it first came out, $299. Second, third generation, $99. The fourth generation, $149, and now the fourth and fifth generation, $199. Meaning, he did two things. Number one, hook it up to your Wi-Fi and standardize it, so you'll be able to get from your Apple TV 4K box, which is very small. You can get anything across the spectrum that'll come to you, obviously, for a fee, which they will pay back to, Hulu, Now TV, PlayStation, Showtime, HBO, and so forth. The guy will still be in our lives directly. It'll replace the sales of the iPhone and the watch. It'll be the savior of the corporation. Anyone owning Apple will be happy in the next 10 years.
Well, I disagree.
Okay.
There you go. That's good.
We finally came to something we disagree on, Shane. I just purchased a TV at Walmart.
Yeah.
And it costs well under $500. It's huge. And it came pre-installed with Roku and a direct plug. My Ethernet cord plugs right into it. And I can go direct to Netflix, direct to YouTube, direct to all these things. There was no Apple symbol anywhere in my offerings right there.
Yeah.
I would have to pay an additional amount to add the Apple product. And it sounds like Steve Jobs didn't get it right the first time, listening to your litany of upgrades there. Also, maybe they should keep working on it. That's just a little tongue-in-cheek, Shane.
I know it is.
I will not count Apple out. To get me, let me be clear about that. They will be around. But
well, they've got a plan to go into this. They have to have a plan. So
they have to have a plan. But they've been struggling for a plan for a long time. And Jim Cramer, who I like to listen to for entertainment and sometimes small amounts of education, I think called it right. Where a company that big, to get a big boom, they need to go in with a product that is going to be a high-ticket item that everybody's going to want, like a car. And as short of that, it's just, I want simplicity. I want
the
to
Apple
buy
car.
And that's what I'm exactly.
Okay.
Look at all the heart. I mean, it'll have a beard and pegged pants and a little knit hat on it, and it'll be so hip you can't not buy it, right?
I would hope so. And I'm sure it'll have a phone and streaming and everything else.
It'll be a decade before they jump in there. But anyway, TV. They've had so many opportunities. The door's been wide open on the TV thing, and they haven't jumped in there.
That's why I was asking you earlier. Are they late to the game? Because it seems like Netflix has got a lot of these things tied up. So does Hulu. So does Crackle.
Well, what's neat about Netflix
Voodoo,
is they're creating their own content now. So they're not they're not.
Well, that's what Netflix is excelling
at. That's what I said. Yeah, right. So is that they're able to now create their own content. So they're their own ship. They won't be able to. But there's room, right? There's room. We've gotten to the point where you can have an Apple phone but a Gmail account, and you right here have a Samsung phone and an Apple computer, and it all is working. There's room for everybody. But it's a race to the bottom in terms of retail. Everything's just cheaper, and a TV that's well under $500 that covers up half your wall is something that there's just not a lot of profit margin in those things, and they don't break either, much like these phones.
Yeah.
My old TV was working fine. I kind of wanted it to break for a long time, but it's just it was merely 30 inches instead of gargantuan.
I know. I need the 60-inch, and the wife says, not a chance.
Oh, it's good for your neck. It gives you get to turn your head a lot, right?
Or is it?
Yeah, right. It's good therapy.
I said, I need I got the sound bar and all that stuff.
You do?
I need the big, sound. I need the big sound with the big screen.
It's more affordable than you think. I couldn't believe it.
All right, we got to do the Rush update and some other stuff, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. Here's Rush. All right, it is 5 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Wednesday, March 27, 2019. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox. I don't know. It's been a long morning. Well, Shane, obviously Mike's full of crap. So what do you think?
I'm just making an observation because we started talking about streaming over a year ago, and it's pretty apparent where it's going to head. I think the bottom line is the problems that social media has with the government not being regulated. They want regulation because it'll prevent competition, but on the other side, they're creating these monopolies that that's the big problem they'll have in the next 10 years with Trump, the possibility of being broken up. And so there's a couple of things you have to look at when you analyze Apple and Google and Facebook and so forth. But for the most part, they're the future. That's where it's going to go as long as they adapt and as long as they develop products to compete in the world of entertainment. That's the big game, content and entertainment.
Yep, that's gonna decide it. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, thanks for waiting. You're on the Morning Soapbox. I gotta get off that Saturday thing. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm just curious at what age, what will be the age limit of abortions out of the womb? At what age will they stop? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years old? And if they're going to be murdering children out of the womb, babies, then I guess killing people is now considered, or what we call now, an abortion. And it's not considered a murder, it's considered an abortion now. And so, I mean, what age is it going to be, liberals? I mean, it's pretty gross, I think. So I'm just real curious, because they're going to legalize it, they're going to try. And so at what age are you going to, let's just bring it up to 78 so we can abort all the congressmen and liberals in office right now. You know what I'm saying? At what age will it stop if they allow that?
All right.
So it would solve the Social Security Medicare problem.
It would. Yeah. That would really solve that problem.
We got to let them earn.
Okay. Thanks. And then. Well, yeah, we wouldn't. If we get fewer people on that Medicare thing, and Social Security would be saved.
Yeah.
So. That's true, but the point that he's making is sort of needs to be corrected because biologically women can't have children until puberty, which usually happens between 12 and 14.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, good to be here. Happy Hump Day, everybody.
Yes, indeed. It's good to have you, Mike, in the house. Mike.
Yeah.
We'll make it to the weekend here. Yeah. Stock market's down.
Yep.
And again,
it just went down. Yeah.
You know, right now, the IRA contributions are coming in, and this is something that I've the time of the year, timing, that sort of thing. Once you think you get it wrong. But generally, there's a whole lot of $5,500 checks. That's the maximum IRA contribution for last year, under 50 years old. There's a whole lot of those that are going to brokerage houses, and advisors with that amount of money, it goes straight in. There's no gaming the market. So there's a general buying consensus underneath things that I think is significant.
All right. Let's take another phone call, and we got to get out of here. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox. What's up?
Hey, Tom and Shane.
Hey.
Yeah, this is Tony calling from Livingston. Yeah, I was wondering about our great statesman, Mr. Schumer.
Yeah?
Now that the Mueller report has come out, we need to go back to what he said about 6 ways to Sunday to take you out.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to Shane about that because that kind of says, how deep is he in this?
Well, it takes Schumer 90 minutes to watch 60 minutes, so.
Yeah.
Right. And at the end of the show, I want to give a heads up to Travis Atkins.
Yeah.
He's going to be
getting his medal today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, amen to that.
Well deserved. Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. We are out of here. Mike, thanks for being here. Mike,
hey, loved being here.
McCormick Financial Services, how they get a hold of you?
No login needed because it's a telephone number, 522-3201, 522-3201.
All right, say goodbye, Shane.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mike. Everyone be happy, be safe.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., and we'll have all kinds of stuff going on. So
always is. There always is.
Amen to that. All right. All right, thanks, everybody. Thanks for the call. Thanks for the text. We'll see everybody bright and early, 6 a.m. tomorrow.